One of my long form videos has 46 views, and my latest short got 49,000 views. Same channel, same creator, but here's the only difference. I built a system that tells me exactly what to make, and it uses all of my own data. So let me show you how it works. So look, I'm not a full-time creator. I run a software agency. I build apps for clients, I build apps for myself, and I also post online because I kind of enjoy it. And I had a goal of posting 3 shorts and 1 long form video per week. And when you think about it, that sounds okay, right? That is until it's 9 p.m. and you've just finished a full day of client work, and now you have to think of an idea to post. And that right there is where I would lose momentum. Because as you know, social media is about consistency. You have to kind of build a snowball effect that gets bigger and bigger, and it gets bigger by posting consistently. So you can't really slack. So I would post for like 2 weeks straight, and then I'll go ghost for a month. And then I'll come back again, and then I'll just repeat and repeat and repeat. And for me, the issue wasn't filming and editing. I'm kind of decent at that. It was kind of just coming up with the ideas. So I thought to myself, can I build something leveraging AI and leveraging my own data that can help me create ideas? And that's what I ended up doing. So step 1 was embarrassingly simple. I just started tracking my own data. And I did that by just going to my TikTok studio and my YouTube studio as well. And what I did was I grabbed the 10 most popular posts for YouTube and TikTok, and then I added them to this README file here. And having them just here made me realize something that was wrong with my channel. So before I would have told you my best content is educational content, so explaining what an API is, explaining how coding works, and so on and so on. But looking at the data here, I realized it was completely different. My top videos were all relatable. They were slightly funny, client stories, real experiences basically. I was spending too long making content I thought would work instead of content that actually works. Now looking at this, I'm telling you now, don't be intimidated. The format does not matter. It could be spreadsheet, Notion, whatever. What matters is just the structure, because later we're gonna get AI to read this and analyze it. And if your data is messy, the output will be messy. That's just how it works. And by the way, if the markdown file system is kind of intimidating, you can click this preview button right here and you can have a nice little layout like this, because before it'll just end up looking like this, and this can be slightly intimidating. So if you download VS Code or Cursor, you should have this nice little button here when you open an MD file, and when you click on it, it'll give you a way more easily readable format. Okay, now step 2, we're gonna try to automate updating our stats. This is where it gets really interesting. So instead of having to always manually update these numbers, we can automate it. So I ended up building a nice little command for this. Now a big disclaimer, this command is using Claude Code skills. If you don't know, Claude Code is a coding assistant that helps you out when you're programming. It's similar to ChatGPT or Cursor. And Claude skills are skills you can write that can expand the knowledge of Claude. So think of it like a tool or an app inside of Claude. Now this one command does a simple thing. It opens TikTok and YouTube in my browser, and it reads every video, so views, likes, comments, and then it takes a top 10 and adds them to the list I just showed you. So essentially it just updates this list for me automatically. And on top of that, it tells me which video is dropped and which video is doing even better than before. And if a video is dropped past the top 10, it just removes it. So we're always making sure the data is fresh. And that really matters, because if you think about it, if you make a video on Tuesday and it blows up by Friday and you've missed it, you didn't even realize this, then you kind of missed the window to lean into that format of that video. Basically take advantage of why it went crazy. And that's basically what I did. So basically I had these videos I was posting, random tech videos, you know, and they would do decently well, right? Okay, I guess, like 1,000, 1.3, 1.4. And then sometimes if you look, you'll get one that'll get 9,000. And then I uploaded this one, so a client related one. And that was by far the highest one I've ever gotten. So you know what I did? I lent into that format. It was talking about clients. So I thought, okay, the next video is just gonna be all about clients. So I did that. So I made this video here, and then I made another one which got 16,000. So this is the second highest short I've ever had. So do you get what I'm trying to say? I find out the format that works and I lean into it. It's kind of like that saying, don't fix what's not broken. Okay, step 3. So now we know what performs, but we need to know why. What exactly about that video and the wording used made it so good? This is where we create some sort of transcript library. A format like this, where you have your TikTok, shorts, and long form laid out like this. So you have your drafts, and you have the actual posted videos. And these files look like this. They're a central transcript of the video you posted. So basically a word of word exact captions of what you said in the video. Now I'm gonna stop you right there. I did not transcript all of these by myself. It's not like I was sitting there writing down and typing out each word that I actually said in the videos. What I did was I wrote a script that uses Apify. Now you're probably wondering, what is Apify? It's essentially a platform that has multiple thousands of scrapers that you can use to scrape data that you need. So you can see here, it's got multiple YouTube transcript scrapers. And all I have to do is I have to just feed in the video URL, and then it'll give me the transcript, and then I can add that and update the actual files like this. Easy. Now you can run a script like this whatever way you want. Python, no code, whatever you want to do. Essentially what we're doing is you're trying to find a tool that will make your life a lot easier, that will automate the transcript part for you. And then you want to automate it and save the output into your database. So now if you're keeping up with me, we have all the videos that are doing really well, and we have the transcripts of each one of those videos. So we know exactly what was said in those videos. Step 4, we have to teach the AI to think like you and speak like you. Now this is the part where most people get it wrong. A lot of people just go on ChatGPT and they type in, please give me some ideas. And then the AI will just give you you some generic ideas that doesn't even work for your brand or your content. Now, the reason it doesn't work is because you haven't said anything or told it about yourself and your content. Now, this is what I call the rules file. It essentially tells the AI how my content works, my hook styles, my personal claims, my personal stories, all of that stuff. Essentially my whole structure. For example, I don't do pure educational stuff. I like to build stuff instead. And after I build, I like to share my personal experiences. And as you can tell, my tone is kind of like conversational, like I'm talking to a friend. And it knows everything about my business aspect. So my content niches, it knows the tech stack I use, it knows I run an agency. So when it actually comes to it generating ideas and using these rules, it actually generates something that I would have thought of myself. Again, it saves me so much time because like I said before, that was an issue I was struggling with, ideation. Now I just want to say I use Claude Code when I'm actually using these skills because I kind of like working with my terminal. But the magic here isn't Claude and the tool I'm using. It's just a set of rules that I've created for this. You can give these rules to any AI, ChatGPT, Gemini, and it'll know exactly how to use the rules. All it needs is a well-structured tool with your data and your content style, and it will give you a good output. What I'm trying to say is the AI is interchangeable, but your system isn't. Okay, so that's all the steps done. Let me show you how it actually works. So I just hop onto Claude Code and all I need to do is just do /generate ideas, just like that. Click enter and I just let it go. And you can see here it's asking me questions. So it's saying, do you want to generate ideas or do you want to plan out the whole week? Now for demo purposes right now, I'm going to ask it to generate me an idea for a single short. So I'm going to say, give me an idea for one short. Enter. Now you can watch it right now, it's reading my performance data and it's probably noticing that client stories are my top performers and they have massive margins in views. And after reading all my data, you can see here it's come up with some ideas. So you can see here, clear from your data, client stories and relatable non-technical content are destroying everything else. Again, we're going by stats here. So it's giving me 5 title ideas. So first one is I charged a client $5K for something. I lost a client because I was too honest. Clients think they're paying for code. Every developer has the one project that haunts them. The worst part about running an agency isn't the code. So now I can think to myself, okay, which one would I prefer to pick? Or I can say, based on my data right now, which one do you reckon will perform the best? So let's try that one. Based on my current data, which would you pick? Let's see what I'll pick. So it's probably not going through my transcripts for all my top performing videos and it's thinking of the best idea. And it looks like it's picked, I charge a client $5K for something that took me 2 hours. Now I'll be honest with you, I don't love that idea just because it sounds a bit manipulative, I guess. Do you get what I mean? It's like essentially bragging about ripping someone off. I don't know, it just doesn't feel right for me. But you can see here, it's giving me the reasons why it thinks it will be the best performing content. So it's saying client stories clearly are your best ones. It's non-technical and everyone can relate to high amount of money for 2 hours of work. It doesn't require any technical skill. It has a curiosity gap on it as well. And it'll bait people out. Now I'm guessing that's why it picked it to cause some controversy. But again, I'm not really that type of person. I don't really care for controversy, so I don't really want to seek it. But if I was happy with it, I would just say, yeah, create me a draft and it will make me a whole file and give me a nice little script for me to follow. So does this actually work? Is this data actually helpful? Does it actually help you generate content that does really well? Yes. 1000% yes. I say this because I ran this system, it looked at my data and said, hey, okay, client stories are your highest engaging content. So it created me one. It created me this specific one here. And I genuinely thought it was not gonna do well, I promise you. But when I posted it, next thing I know, we hit 31,000. I've never ever gone that high. For TikTok, my followers went up by 100. You can even see right here. It just blew up. And here's the thing, this wasn't a one-off. The system said keep going with client stories. So I just did that. So the next video was, he was actually a nice guy and look at that. He did well as well. That's 3 client stories uploaded back to back. All of them outperforming anything I did before that. I mean it when I say this, that isn't luck. That's just literally using data and just following what the data is telling us. And I'll be completely real, I would have never made a video like that if it wasn't suggested for me. And I swear I mean it when I say I genuinely did not think the video would do well. I genuinely thought it would just be a random flop. But my thinking was, let's try out different things and let's see what sticks. Because I think that's the thing with consistency with social media. You post constantly and you try different things and eventually it's just math. One of them will stick and then you can just push with that. Okay, so let's go through everything step by step. One final time, real quick. Step 1, create a file to be the performance tracker. So have your top 10 content and have the likes, comments, and the dates and the link for them all there done. And make sure you have something like this that updates it automatically. So you can create something using Playwright or you can use the Chrome MCP with Claude. record and just feed in these specific URLs, so the studio URL for your TikTok and your YouTube for long form and short form. And what that will do is it will just update this list here for you. Step 2, build a transcript library. So for all those videos are the top 10 from the previous step that I just said, you want to get the transcript for every single one of them. Like I said, that's easily done using Apify right here. So you can grab a YouTube transcript scraper here and one for TikTok as well, and you're good to go. Step 3, rules. Create a set of rules that break down how you think and the kind of content that you want to make as well. So your talking style and the kind of content that you personally feel like you like making the most. Like I said, this is catered for me. I'm not going to have it flipping generating ideas like I'm Mr. Beast, so I talk like him. That's just not me. Step 4, use these rules and generate ideas like I did right here. I used the rule and it generated me some ideas. Step 5, film it, post it, and track the data, and then repeat and repeat and repeat. That's what consistency is all about. You just keep going and going. For example, I've never done a long form video about this specific topic. I'm gonna try it. If it does well, hell yeah. If it doesn't do well, that's okay. I now know in the back of my head, okay, I can see where I can improve things. But it's just a cycle. You just keep going and going and going. Track data, generate idea, film it, post it, track data, generate idea, film it, post it, just go on and go on and go on. This whole thing took me like about a day to build, and it's been so helpful. I can't even explain to you, so helpful. Like I said, I can just run this command here and it'll generate me some ideas and it'll just save me so much time, man. So just to conclude, if you're like me, you've got a full-time agency you're running, you've got different things you're building, but you also want to consistently post online. I'm telling you, build something like this, especially if you're already using AI to begin with. And you don't need to be a developer for this. You just need to structure your data. Like you saw right there when I showed you, none of that was actual code, except from the scraping function. It's just keeping everything organized, just tracking all your data and keeping everything organized. But yeah, I hope this was useful. Honestly, I hope this helped anyone out there. If you found it useful, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. But I'll see you guys in a bit. Peace.